Hello fellow shadows, welcome back to another video, and before we discuss the topic of this video, I want to apologize for the lack of activity that has been on this channel. I will do my best to be more active on this channel. You have my promise. With that said, the thing I want to talk about is Mandalorian. Now I've been watching Mandalorian like season 2 with each episode that has come out so far. I've been doing a week by week review of it on my personal channel. I'll link the newest episode review in the pinned comments down below if you guys want to check my review out as well on my personal channel. But I love the episode. Just gonna let you guys know, if you guys haven't seen the title, assuming that I don't put in the title, like, I'm assuming I'm going to put this in the title, but if you guys haven't seen it, and if I don't put it in the title by some weird reason, this is going to contain spoilers, so if you guys don't want to be spoiled with the last episode, then please wait until you guys watch the actual episode to come back in, because I do not want you guys to get mad at me for spoiling anything for you guys, if you guys don't want any spoilers. With that said, the last episode was great. It was called The Jedi. And like few episodes back, we got a tease like let me just say this. All of these like special guests, before the show aired, I took as rumors. Guess it was like a lot of like confirmed cameos. There was Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, Captain Rex, Sabine Wren, and a few other characters. I want to say like at least 2 more that I'm forgetting at the moment. We haven't got Sabine Wren. We haven't got Captain Rex, and I highly doubt that we will get Captain Rex, because with the whole speedy age thing, he'll be extremely old or dead at this point in the Clone Wars universe, in the Star Wars universe, I should say. So I highly doubt that we will see Captain Rex in this episode. I mean, in this season, in this show. We saw Boba Fett. That was a pretty good cameo. We saw Bo-Katan. That was a pretty good cameo. But my favorite cameo was in this episode. And it's of my favorite Clone Wars character, Ahsoka fucking Tano. And she was played by Rosario Dawson. And the only thing I remember seeing Rosario Dawson in was like the Daredevil Netflix shows, like the Marvel Netflix shows that contains like Marvel, like Daredevil, Iron Fist, The Defenders, and Luke Cage. I don't think she ever made a cameo in Jessica Jones, even though Jessica Jones is part of the Netflix Marvel show slate that's connected to The Defenders. But yeah, I don't think she ever made a cameo in that show. Surprisingly, I bet if there was like a 3rd season, she would have. But yeah, I did not expect that we were going to get Ahsoka as soon as we did in this episode. Because the first scene that we see is fighting. And when Ahsoka lit up her white sabers, I was like, oh my god, that's Ahsoka! And I was excited. And I did not expect how much of Ahsoka we were going to get. I thought we were going to get her within like the last 15 minutes of this episode. The last 15 minutes. But no. We got her from like 5-10 seconds in to the episode, practically all the way to the end, and it was beautiful. Yes, it was directed by Dave Filoni, and I felt the presence of Ahsoka Tano through Rosario Dawson, and I loved it. This has to be my favorite episode. So practically, if you guys haven't been caught up with season 2 of Mandalorian yet, this whole season, Mando has been trying to take Baby Yoda to the Jedi, his kind, which is the Jedi, and I thought there was a side of me that thought that we were going to get Ahsoka in the last episode before I knew that Dave Filoni was going to be in this episode. I mean, direct this episode. And it was a good episode. I'm surprised in this episode Mando didn't not need to have ship repairs. Because it's kind of been like an ongoing thing with at least 90% of the episodes. Mando needs something in the ship to be repaired. So I'm surprised that didn't happen. So, yeah, Mando's been trying to search for a Jedi to place Baby Yoda with. So Bo-Katan says, go to this one planet, which I'm having a brain for the name. There you find Ahsoka Tano. Tell her that Bo-Katan sent you. So, in this episode, Mando goes to the planet. And we see that, like, this snotty dictator woman. And she was saying how she has been plagued by a Jedi, and that she wants the Jedi to be killed. She even offers this lightsaber resistant weapon as the reward if Mando does kill Ahsoka. And Mando did not exactly agree to those terms. He just says, I'll find her, something like that, hinting that he'll find her, but he never hinted that he'll kill her. And that was a woman's mistake, which I will get to later in this video. So Mando and Baby Yoda goes to the forest to find Ahsoka. Ahsoka and Mando gets into like this short, brief fight. And the metal where his lightsaber is made out of is lightsaber resistant, which I thought was kind of cool. And so then Mando said, wait. Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan sent me. We need to talk. And they talk about Baby Yoda a bit. And we see Ahsoka and Baby Yoda look at each other. Now, if you aren't as into like Star Wars as much as I am, then you probably like pass that off as they're just having some awkward look exchanges. And truth be told, yeah, I can see I can understand that. To like, if you haven't really been into Star Wars as much as me, your first thought probably wouldn't be they're using the Force in some sort of way. So I get that. When I first saw it, yeah, it was kind of like we're like, what are they doing? Are they trying to communicate through the Force because Baby Yoda can't speak yet? Are they communicating through the Force somehow? And Mando actually says, are you communicating with him? And she actually confirms yes. So my theory is right. They were using the Force somehow to communicate with each other, read each other's thoughts. Ahsoka actually says that in the episode. And then we actually get the name reveal for Baby Yoda. And I'm so happy because I don't have to keep. We don't have to keep calling Baby Yoda, or the child. He actually has a name. I thought he deserved a name outside of being called Baby Yoda or Baby Yaddle. I feel like the character had deserved way more respect than getting called the baby version of an already established character for so long. And finally we get a name. And his name is Grogu. 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 And keep in mind, Grogu is 50 years old. For us humans, that will be an adult. But for his species and like with Yoda's, 50 years old is still like the infant stage, the toddler stage. So, Ahsoka says that he's been trained, like, multiple Jedi Masters came to train him over his time in, like, the Clone Wars. But he never really fought in the Clone Wars, because, for obvious reasons. He was taken after Order 66, and how his like memory is dark, and he felt alone, and she does hint, like at least I think twice in the episode. I don't see if Furby said it once, but where Grogu has an attachment towards like to Mando, like a father and son type attachment. And baby Ahsoka after, I know I'm kind of going back and forth, and I apologize for that. Ahsoka agrees to see where Grogu's at in his Force training. And after she realizes the attachment bit, she refuses to teach him to be his official master. And I don't even think that Ahsoka is still an official Jedi at this point anymore, because she left the Jedi Order. She told Ezra and Kanan she's not a Jedi by her choice, because she left by her choice. And well, there's been like, what, 7-ish years? 7 to 8 years since she said that to Ezra and Kanan. So maybe she decided, hey, I'll come back to being a Jedi. But that will raise a lot of questions. Like, did she seek out Luke Skywalker? Has she met Luke Skywalker? I would love to see, like, with rumors that we're going to get an Ahsoka series, which this episode could have easily been a backdrop pilot for an Ahsoka series, that we will get a Luke Skywalker. Like, in terms of like, we will see Ahsoka Tano meeting Luke Skywalker. If it's live action, Sebastian Stan, because since it's like a few years after Return of the Jedi, with Sebastian Stan, he resembles Mark Hamill when he was in the original trilogy. Who, for those of you who doesn't know who Sebastian Stan is, Sebastian Stan is the Winter Soldier in the Marvel movies, Bucky Barnes. So I can see Sebastian Stan playing Luke. I mean, if they recasted Han Solo and then CGI'd Leia in, both Rise of Skywalker, which felt weird, and Rogue One, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney went that route. But Ahsoka says to Mando, she won't train him because she sensed the fear and the attachment and the anger. And Mando says, that's exactly why you should train him. And she says, referring to Anakin, I and potentially Ezra, assuming that she found him, which at this point was I doubt, but still, that she's seen what attachment and this type of detachment does to fully trained Jedi Knights. Obviously, referring to Anakin becoming Vader, and she would not, and to the best of us, and she refuses to allow, or she refuses to train Grogu, so to prevent him from going down that path. Mando's not too pleased. Ahsoka tries to go back to the village. Mando says, I've been tasked to kill you, but I haven't agreed to it. So there's this fight. They go back to the village. There's this fight. They free the prisoners that was in the village that Ahsoka was trying to free earlier. That Mando went to earlier. Ahsoka and the dictator that tried to hire Mando to kill Ahsoka get into this fight. Ahsoka gets the upper hand, and she says, where is your master? Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? And when that happens, what? What? Grand Admiral Thrawn? We're going to get a Grand Admiral Thrawn cameo soon? In a future Star Wars project? Well, obviously. But, and what I mean by that is, does this mean that Ahsoka found Ezra Bridger? Because if you guys remember, if you guys seen Rebels, the show ended where Ahsoka and Sabine Wren was on a search for Ezra Bridger. Mandalorian takes place 5 years after the original trilogy, and the ending of Rebels takes place right after a Return of the Jedi, after the second Death Star blows up. So, 5 years after, 5 years of searching for Ezra, I still found nothing? Or has he found Ezra, and could he have turned bad too, have attachment, and that being one of the 2 reasons why she refused to train Grogu? I don't know. I highly doubt Ezra will be one of the reasons, but like I said, with Disney Star Wars, you would never know. And then Mando goes back to the ship to say his goodbyes to Grogu before giving it up to Ahsoka. And then Ahsoka says, he feels you like a father. I cannot train him. Mando says, but we had a deal. If I helped you, you would properly train him. And then Ahsoka says, there is this one way. Go to Tython. Take him to the center part of this ruins of the temple, if I remember correctly. Have him meditate. If there's any Jedi out there, they will gravitate to him. And so that means that either in the next episode, or which is episode 5, episode 6, or in episode 7, we're going to get Tython. And there's a good chance that will be, I shouldn't say good chance, but there's that potential where that episode will be Grogu's last episode on Mandalorian. Who could be the Jedi? Well, it could be the Jedi from the Jedi Fallen Order game. I have played, I've seen bits and pieces of it. I purposely tried to stay away from spoiling myself as much as possible with that game until I get it, so I can stream it on this channel. But I have heard that he still around, kicking it around. So unless if like Jedi Fallen Order 2 kills him off before this happens, I think his name is Cal. Cal can easily be one of the Jedi. It's up for a possibility. If they decide to recanonize Starkiller, Galen Malik, that could be one of the Jedi. Because for those of you who doesn't know who Starkiller is, the one I'm talking about, I'm not talking about Starkiller Base. There's this character called Galen Malik, who goes by the name Starkiller. He is a character from the Force Unleashed games. He was Darth Vader's secret apprentice, who turned to being a Jedi who helped the rebellion. He died in the first game. He was cloned, and the way the second game ended, the clone is still kicking around. Granted that the Force Unleashed games are legends, not canon, but they can rework it a bit. They can rework it a bit to make it fit into the current canon. Cause I did read that it was originally supposed to be a trilogy, and I do not remember seeing that Starkiller was going to die at the end of The Force Unleashed 3, which never got made. So if that were to happen, I never read that. Now, I could easily be wrong, but that's just my opinion, my theory. And if my theory so happens to be true in any sort of way, then Disney can do that and bring Galen Malik into the canon, and hopefully bring us The Force Unleashed 3, because it deserves to be part of canon. Because I really love the first game. The second game was good. It wasn't as good as the first one. It deserves a concluding trilogy, a concluding game, a concluding story arc. It deserves to have like one last game, because that's what it was supposed to be, 3 games. But anyways, Galen Malik, Starkiller, could easily, if they bring him back into canon, could be one of the Jedi that they're referring to. Of course, then that would potentially retcon any canonized way of Shakti's death that came before. But like I said, they could easily rework it. It's Disney. They're already pulling stuff from like Legends to make canon. For example, Thrawn. They can rework it a bit. They could rework Starkiller's story a bit. Anyways. So, there could be Ezra Bridger, potentially, if she has found Ezra. Only if she's found Ezra at this point. There could be that cast guy from the Jedi Fallen Order game. Starkiller, if they bring him back as canon. The fourth person that I can think of that could train Grogu in the ways of the Force is Luke Skywalker. And maybe he's, outside of Leia, of course, being his first Padawan learner. Like, he might not have officially made a Jedi Academy yet, but he can still take on, like, Grogu, like, just to have, like, one-on-one lessons to honor not so much Ahsoka, but Yoda and his father, and Obi-Wan. But knowing, yeah, that's just, yeah. I'm going to shut up now. But, or could be a completely different Jedi that we've never seen before. That could be a survivor of the Order 66. So, yeah, there's already like possibilities for who could come to train Grogu. Like most of the people I said are canon. Only two are like really probable. The other two that I mentioned are like question boxes. Being Ezra and Starkiller, they're like question boxes because Starkiller isn't canon as of at the time I'm making this video, and Ezra, as far as we can know, as far as we know, Ahsoka is still looking for Ezra. So yeah, and if they do bring Luke Skywalker in this show as a quick cameo, if even I hope they stay true to his character more than the sequel trilogy did. I'm just putting it out there. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. Oh yeah, and then Ahsoka walks off. You know, Baby Yoda and Grogu and Mando goes into the ship, and Ahsoka walks off as her theme song's playing. I loved how they incorporated her theme song into the ending part, especially that jumps before. I even loved the jumps they added a little bit before the credits played. I thought that was cool. This episode was great. Rosario Dawson is my favorite part to the episode. Like, it's one of my favorite parts. Like, I had every bit of faith in her. When I heard that she was going to play Ahsoka Tano, of course I didn't fully believe it. Because, like, rumors, I didn't know whether or not that was a confirmed one or not. But I was saying, if Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka Tano, I bet she would nail it. Thank you for proving me right. You nailed it. You're good. You're amazing. I want to hug you, Rosario Dawson, for portraying my favorite Clone Wars character beautifully. This episode also made Ahsoka more of a badass with her fighting style. I did not expect myself to enjoy live action Ahsoka Tano as much as I did. I really do enjoy this episode. And I still believe, I'm still in that camp that Ahsoka Tano should have died in her duel with Darth Vader. I can, like, yeah, she could have and easily died in like Order 66, but I think her character should have, like, the story arc of her character should have ended in Rebels Season 2 with her fight with Vader. But with what we got, I really enjoyed this episode, and Ahsoka Tano and Rosario Dawson are the best parts of this episode. And I do like, before I close, I do like how she says that she only knew one other person of Yoda's species, a wise Jedi Master named Yoda. Like, oh snap. Like, and we got a hint of his theme song playing as she was getting into saying Yoda. I thought that was cool. Like I said, this episode was amazing. I enjoyed this episode. This episode is my favorite and debatedly the best Mandalorian episode of this season and potentially of the entire series. Is this a backstory pilot? Like I said earlier, I do believe it is for a potential Ahsoka Tano series. And this also leaves a question. Is she, like, or raises the question again. Because Dave Filoni says like with her, like with the Jedi voices in Rise of Palpatine, as I like to call Episode 9, because Rey is a Palpatine and a Skywalker. When we heard the Jedi voices, Ahsoka Tano was one of those voices, and a lot of people, including me, are believing that she's dead by the time of Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9. Dave Filoni says, well, she could be dead, or she could be like Luke did with Leia and just be reaching out to the Force. So this kind of brings up the question again, is she dead by the time Episode 9 comes around? I might love Ahsoka Tano as a character. She's one of my favorite characters. She's my favorite character of the Clone Wars and Rebels. But truthfully, I do not like. I think she deserves a heroic end. Like maybe she meets it like a year before The Force Awakens comes out. Like the events of The Force Awakens. Because as much as I like Ahsoka Tano, I don't want her to be just dragged out just for the sake of being dragged out. I don't want her to be shoehorned into places in the Star Wars timeline where it feels awkward. Granted that this episode did not feel awkward, but I don't want her to like be placed in the sequel trilogy. Because I like per se, because I feel like that would make it feel awkward if you guys get my meaning. But I love Ahsoka. I love her story arc in the Clone Wars, and regardless of how I feel about them bringing her back after her duel with Vader, I personally find it stupid. I do like her story arc in Rebels, more so in like the second season than anything. And I do love her story arc in this episode. So, what do you guys think about this episode? Do you guys like it, dislike it, and about it? And what is your guys' favorite part or parts to this episode? Let me know in the comments down below. Love you all. Have a wonderful day. And may the Force be with us all.